I'm Barbara, 35. Sitting in my Rolls-Royce, the late afternoon sun casts a golden glow on the hood, but my focus is fixed on the house in front of me. The once grand Victorian mansion where I grew up now looks like a forgotten relic. The paint is peeling off in large chunks, and the gutters are sagging as if they can no longer bear the weight of time. The overgrown and patchy lawn is a far cry from the carefully manicured one I remember. It's a poignant symbol of my family's downfall. Yesterday, my mother's desperate phone call shattered 7 years of silence. Her sobs and pleas for help still ring in my ears. "Please, Barbara," she wailed. "The house is in foreclosure. We need $400,000, and we have nowhere else to turn." That call took me completely by surprise. The last time I saw my parents, I was 28. They cut me off financially and emotionally because I refused to take over their failing import business. My father's angry shouts still echo in my mind. "You're throwing away everything we've built for you. All our sacrifices, all our plans are worthless." What they didn't know was that while they were pushing me onto their path, I was quietly developing a revolutionary AI algorithm. The day they disowned me, I had already secured my first round of venture capital funding. Now, 7 years later, my tech company, Edge, is worth billions. I've kept a low profile, staying out of the press, and letting others be the public face of the company while I focus on innovation. My parents, caught up in their own drama, never bothered to find out what had become of their disappointing daughter. Taking a deep breath, I step out of the car. The click of my Louboutin heels against the cracked concrete walkway reverberates through the quiet neighborhood. As I approach the door, it suddenly flies open. "Barbara," my mother, Amelia, exclaims. Her eyes widen in shock at my appearance. The daughter she last saw in jeans and a hoodie now stands before her in a tailored Prada suit, wearing jewelry that costs more than their mortgage. "Hello, Mother," I say calmly. "May I come in?" She steps aside, fluttering her hands nervously. Of course, of course. Your father, Henry, is in the living room. We weren't expecting you so early." I follow her through the foyer. The once elegant house has clearly seen better days. The antique furniture is covered in a thick layer of dust, and the Persian rugs, which were once the pride of the family, are faded and worn. My father sits in his favorite leather armchair. He looks older and smaller than I remember. His eyes narrow as he takes in my appearance. "You look expensive," he remarks, his tone a mix of confusion and suspicion. "Things have changed, Father," I reply, sitting down across from him. "But then, that's why I'm here, isn't it? Things have changed for you too." My mother perches on the edge of the sofa, wringing her hands. "Barbara, we're so grateful you came. We didn't know who else to turn to. The bank is foreclosing." "Yes, you mentioned that, along with the fact that you need $400,000 to save the house. What I'd like to know is how you got here," I say. My father's face darkens. The business had some setbacks. The market changed, and the suppliers became unreliable. We had to take out loans to keep things afloat. I nod slowly. "The import business I refused to take over. The one you said I was foolish to walk away from." "Barbara," my mother interrupts, clearly trying to prevent an argument. "Please, we know we hurt you. We said terrible things, but we're your parents and we need help." I study them both. My proud father can't meet my eyes, and my mother is still trying to manage everyone's emotions. They look tired and defeated. Part of me wants to blurt out everything about my success, my company, and the fortune I've built. But another part, the part that remembers years of criticism and control, wants them to understand exactly what they've thrown away. "Show me the paperwork," I say finally. "Everything. The loans, the business records. If I'm going to help, I need to know what I'm dealing with." My father starts to protest, but my mother quickly gathers a stack of documents from a drawer. As I review them, the full picture emerges. The business has been failing for years, long before they pressured me to take it over. They mortgaged the house multiple times and took out high interest loans, and now everything is coming due. "You're not just in trouble with the house," I say, looking up from the papers. "The business is completely underwater. You need a lot more than $400,000 to fix this. We just need to save the house, my mother says quickly. We can figure out the business later. I set the papers down and lean back, studying them. Why did you really call me after 7 years of silence? Why now? My father shifts uncomfortably in his chair. We heard rumors about your company. Someone mentioned you were doing well in tech. We thought you might have enough money to bail us out. But you didn't bother to actually find out what I've been doing all these years, did you? I ask. My mother admits softly. We were angry when you left. When you rejected everything we planned for you, it felt like betrayal. We were too proud to reach out and see what you'd made of yourself. I stand up and walk to the window. The garden where I spent countless hours as a child is overgrown. The roses that my mother once tenderly cared for are choked by weeds. Do you know what Relic is? I ask, not turning around. Some sort of computer company? My father ventures. I can't help but laugh. Some sort of computer company. Yes, I suppose that's one way to put it. I turn to face them. Relic is one of the fastest growing AI companies in the world. Our technology is revolutionizing everything from healthcare to climate science, and I founded it. The silence that follows is deafening. My parents stare at me, their expressions a mix of shock and disbelief. That's impossible, my father finally stammers. You never had that kind of business experience. I had something better. I cut in. I had vision. I saw where technology was going while you were clinging to an outdated business model. The daughter you dismissed as a disappointment built something worth billions. My mother's hand flies to her mouth. Billions. Yes, I say simply. Which is why your request for $400,000 is actually quite modest. The question is, what are you really asking for? Money or something else? They look at each other, and decades of shared history pass between them in a glance. My father's shoulders slump, and for the first time in my life, I see tears in his eyes. We were wrong, he says, his voice rough with emotion. About everything. The business, your choices. We were so convinced we knew what was best that we couldn't see what you were capable of. I feel my own eyes stinging, but I keep my voice steady. Now that you know I have money and I'm successful, is that why you want to reconnect? No, my mother cries. Barbara, please. The money, yes, we need help, but seeing you today and realizing what you've achieved, we're proud of you. We should have been proud of you all along. I sit back down, letting their words sink in. Pride after 7 years of silence, after dismissing everything I've worked for. The irony isn't lost on me. Here's what's going to happen, I say, my voice calm but firm. I'm going to help you, but not just with money. This is going to be about rebuilding everything, including our relationship, and it's going to happen on my terms. My father starts to speak, but I hold up my hand. Let me finish first. I'm going to have my team do a complete audit of your finances. No secrets, no hidden debts. I need to know exactly what we're dealing with. Your team? My mother asks softly. Yes, mother. I have a team of financial advisors who manage my assets. They'll handle this professionally and discreetly. I pull out my phone and send a quick text to Lisa, my chief financial advisor. Within moments, she replies, confirming she'll start the process immediately. Second, I continue, we're going to really talk about everything that happened, everything that was said. No more sweeping things under the rug or pretending the past didn't happen. My parents exchange nervous glances. The Thompson family has never been good at emotional honesty. We're masters at avoiding difficult conversations and letting resentment build until it explodes. Third, I say, standing up, you're going to come see what I've built. Tomorrow, I'm taking you to Relic. It's time you understood exactly what your daughter has achieved. The next morning, I pick them up in my Rolls-Royce. My mother has made an effort to dress up in one of her old designer suits, which now hangs loose on her frame. My father looks uncomfortable in a tie that has seen better days. As we drive through the city towards the gleaming towers of the tech district, my mother keeps glancing at me. What is it? I finally ask. You seem so different, she says, confident in control. I smile slightly. I always was, mother. You just never saw it because it didn't fit your image of who I should be. We pull into the private parking garage beneath the Neural Edge building. The 40-story glass and steel structure houses over 3,000 employees. As we step into the private elevator, my father's eyes widen at the fingerprint scanner. Security is tight, I explain. We develop proprietary technology here. What we're working on is worth billions. The elevator opens directly into my executive suite on the top floor. Two ceiling windows offer a panoramic view of the city, and multiple screens display real-time data from our global operations. This is impressive, my father says, turning slowly to take it all in. Lisa is waiting for us, tablet in hand. Miss Thompson, I have the preliminary audit results. I nod. Thank you, Lisa. What's the damage? She glances at my parents before continuing. Total outstanding debt is approximately $2.3 million, including the house mortgages, business loans, and various credit lines. Most of it is high interest and overdue. I hear my mother's sharp intake of breath. The number is clearly higher than they've admitted, even to themselves. Options? I ask. We can clear it all immediately if you want, Lisa replies, or set up a structured payment plan if you prefer to handle it that way. My father's face goes pale. $2.3 million, he whispers. We had no idea it had gotten so bad. You didn't want to know, I correct him. Just like you didn't want to know what I was doing with my life. It was easier to look away. I turn to Lisa. Set up a payment plan. I'll cover it all, but I want it structured properly and I want the business officially closed. No more throwing good money after bad. After Lisa leaves, I lead my parents into my private conference room. The walls are lined with awards and press coverage articles about Neural Edge's innovations, my patents, and our company's impact on various industries. This is what you walked away from, my mother says, reading one of the headlines. When you refused to take over the family business. No, I correct her. This is what I walked toward. You saw it as walking away because you couldn't imagine anything beyond what you had planned for me. I sit down at the conference table and gesture for them to join me. Do you know why I succeeded? Because when you cut me off, when you took away everything I was supposed to depend on, you accidentally gave me the greatest gift of all. Freedom. Freedom to fail, to try, to build something without the weight of your expectations. My father's hands tremble slightly as he clasps them on the table. We thought we were doing what was best for you, protecting you. The family business was supposed to be your security. But it was never what I wanted. I say softly. And you never asked. You just assumed your dreams should be my dreams. And look what your dreams built. I gesture around the room. My mother says, while we were clinging to the past, you were creating the future. We spend the next few hours talking, really talking for the first time in years. They tell me about their struggles as the business declined, their fear of losing everything, and their regret over pushing me away. I tell them about the early days of Neural Edge, the risks I took, and the nights I worked until dawn believing in my vision. There's something else you should know. I say finally. I'm not just successful. I'm wealthy beyond anything you could imagine. The company is worth billions, yes, but my personal net worth is over $47 million. My mother's hand flies to her mouth, and my father seems to age 10 years in an instant. The full weight of their rejection finally hits him. All this time, he whispers, while we were drowning in debt, too proud to admit our mistakes, too proud to reach out to our daughter. Yes, I finish for him. But that's the past. What matters now is what we do going forward. I pull out a folder and place it on the table. This is my proposal. I'll clear all your debts through a structured payment plan. The house will be put in a trust. You can live there for the rest of your lives, but it will eventually become a foundation to help young entrepreneurs. The family business will be closed properly, with all employees receiving generous severance packages. They nod, understanding that this isn't up for discussion. But I continue. This isn't just about money. I want us to try being a real family, not the one you tried to force me to be part of, but something new, something honest. That means therapy, both individual and family sessions. It means regular dinners, real conversations, and genuine efforts to understand each other. You don't owe us any of this, my mother says quietly after a long pause. No, I don't, I agree. But I'm not doing it out of obligation. I'm doing it because despite everything, you're my parents, and maybe it's time we all learn how to be a family without expectations or conditions. My father reaches across the table and takes my hand. It's the first time he's touched me in 7 years. Thank you, he says, his voice rough with emotion. Not for the money, but for giving us a chance to make things right. Over the next few months, we begin the slow process of rebuilding our family. Therapy sessions are difficult. Years of resentment and misunderstanding don't disappear overnight. But gradually, we start to understand each other better. My parents move into their newly renovated house, now maintained by the trust I've established. My mother starts volunteering at a local youth center, mentoring young girls interested in technology. My father, free from the burden of the failing business, discovers a passion for teaching business classes at a community college. One evening, about 6 months after our first reunion, we sit in their garden, which I've had restored to its former glory. The roses my mother loves are blooming once again. Do you remember, my mother says, sipping her tea, how you used to sit out here with your laptop, working on what you called your projects? We thought you were just playing games, avoiding real work. I smile. Those projects were the early versions of the AI algorithms that would eventually become Neural Edge's core technology. We were so blind, my father adds. So caught up in our own vision of success that we couldn't see that we already had a successful daughter, just in a way we didn't understand. The past is the past, I say, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of pink and gold. What matters is that we're here now, learning to see each other clearly. My phone buzzes with a message from my team about a new breakthrough in our latest project. Looking at the message, and then at my parents, I feel a sense of completion. I've succeeded not just in business, but in something far more challenging, forgiving, growing, and building a new kind of relationship with my family. I have some exciting news, I say, putting my phone away. Neural Edge is launching a foundation to support young entrepreneurs from underprivileged backgrounds. We're calling it the Thompson Innovation Fund. My parents' eyes widen. You're using our name? My father asks. Yes, I reply. Because despite everything, you taught me something valuable. The importance of legacy, just not in the way you planned. My mother wipes away tears as my father squeezes her hand. We sit there in the garden, watching the day fade into night, three people who had lost their way, finding a new path forward together. Sometimes, the greatest success isn't measured in dollars or achievements, but in the ability to transform pain into purpose, resentment into reconciliation, and broken relationships into something stronger than before. As I drive home that night, I think about the long journey that has brought us here, from the daughter they rejected to the successful businesswoman who could save them, from a family broken by pride to one slowly healing through honesty and effort. My phone buzzes with a text from my mother. Thank you for not giving up on us. We love you. I smile, thinking how far we've all come. Sometimes the hardest part of success isn't achieving it, it's learning how to share it with the people who once doubted you could succeed at all.